Hi, let's start on the lesson on mole concept. This thing called empirical versus molecular formula. Now, empirical formula is actually talking about the composition, okay? The composition of a substance in terms of, elements at its lowest ratio. Okay, and the difference between empirical formula and molecular formula is that molecular formula doesn't care about lowest ratio. It only cares that you have stated the exact number of every single element that's inside. So it doesn't care whether it is lowest ratio or not. So this is the exact number, exact composition. So it doesn't care. All right, this one doesn't care about ratio. So actually what you have, one of our favorite examples is this. You know glucose, yeah, simple sugar. Okay, C6H12O6. This is the actual composition of a molecule of glucose, right? Now, obviously this is not in its lowest ratio because it's got 6 and 12 and 6, right? So its lowest ratio is actually CH2O, isn't it? But CH2O in the world of actual chemistry taking place in a chemical reaction has absolutely no meaning because you don't see a CH2O in the chemical reaction doing its stuff. So what you do have is C6H12O6 doing its stuff. So what is really important over here is you need to understand when we are doing chemical equations and actual chemical reactions, it is actually the molecular formula that's doing its work, okay? So usually when we tell you about the chemical composition of a particular particle of a compound, we will tell you first X and Y, let's say. These are actually the elements that we use. And we will tell you that the percentage composition by mass of each element in the compound, or we tell you the mass itself. So it's either a percentage number or it's a mass number. Either way, it really doesn't matter. Use that number. Use that number is given to you. You don't have to care whether it's a percentage number or it's a mass number. Just use it. All right? And so here we have this, the mass of X and the mass of Y. Okay? Just given to you. Now, from there, of course, most importantly, you need to now calculate the number of moles of element X and element Y within that formula. So what we do is we take the mass that was given to us for element X and then we divide it by the MR of X. Okay, this will give us the number of moles of X. So same here. Take the mass given of Y and then divide it by the MR of Y. I'm using MR, but actually the meaning that is more important is that this is the mass of 1 mole. Okay, it's the same number. Like this, you take the smaller number between the two number of moles A versus B. Like let's say A is the smaller number. I take A divided by itself, it will always give me 1, right? And then here I take B, I will divide it by A to find how many times B is bigger than A. Okay, then I'll get this certain number, like that. Okay, and then if this is already in its simplest ratio, then my formula, my empirical formula, okay, so let's example this and here like that. Okay, then my empirical formula therefore will be X, Y, B. Like that. And this would be the empirical formula for this particular substance.
Click the plus for more.